Yeah, as we move into Game 5, Kisstafer finally retiring that Warlock deck. He's going to take out his Druid deck, which is looking very control-y, as a lot of Druids tend to be.
Yeah, this is another version of the Druid control. This has some of the similar cards. Again, throwing out the Ancient of Wars, which were very common before the Black Knight became so popular. But having the Ancient of Wars in there. But instead of having some of the cards... So he's switched in a Baron Geddon, which is an interesting card in this kind of Druid control deck. It's, I think, a very effective card against certain kinds of decks, and the Rogue deck may be one of those kinds of decks because a lot of the creatures that apDrop plays do have less than 2 health. So unless you can outright kill Baron Geddon, you can't really play any of your creatures, which could be a problem for apDrop unless he has something like that Tink Master in his hand. So I think we're going to see a very powerful Baron Geddon if it's able to hit the board. He also has the standard stuff like the Blood Mage Downlist, the Wild Pyros, the Swipes, the single Starfall, the Keepers, the Druid of the Claws, and all that stuff. So again, this is going to come down to whether apDrop can manage the board early and get a significant advantage, and whether Kisstafer can wipe that board and then throw out one of his powerful creatures that can't be dealt with by what apDrop has in his hand as far as dealing with this kind of stuff. So I think this is anyone's game. I'm not going to make a prediction on the winner of this one, but apDrop's Rogue deck is very powerful. So. And he plays it very well.
Yes.
And he top decks very well. So
yeah. So he's sticking with his Rogue deck that he's so fond of. As we go into Game 5, apDrop versus Kisstafer, Rogue versus Druid.
Malfurion versus Valera.
Okay, so let's see what we got in the opening hands here.
I must protect.
Like
probably just hold on to the Claw here for the Druid, and I think we're going to see an entire mulligan for apDrop because he needs to get those backstabs and stuff like that in his opener.
Absolutely. And there he goes, the full-on mulligan of all 4 cards because he's going second, which means he'll also get the coin.
Oh, this is a fantastic opening hand for apDrop because he's got the Squire, he's got the Deadly Poison, and he's also got the best 3-drop he could ask for in the Harvest Golem.
Absolutely, and a coin, so he could actually, on turn 2, he could Deadly Poison up his dagger.
Yeah, if he wants to. I think we'll probably just see an Argent Squire here in turn 1. It's just fairly standard play. You get that guy out there. Looks like we might see a turn 2 Harvest Golem too, unless he draws something like an SI7 agent. So interesting situation. I think I just pull off the. There you go. So without a card, he's going to go ahead, without taking any damage, he's going to go ahead and pop that shield.
Yeah, that's a nice thing about the Druid hero power.
Yeah, you shield up as well. So the advantage the Rogue hero power has over the Druid hero power is for 2 mana you get 2 attacks. But the Druid hero power also gives you armor, so it actually buffers that attack a little bit when you use it on minions.
Yeah, if it's a 1-attack minion, it completely negates it.
Exactly.
So looks like...
So, yeah, point out the Harvest Golem here.
Pointing out the Harvest Golem.
Now, the problem with this play is it leaves him with only 1 turn 3 play, which is actually fine, which is Dagger Up Deadly Poison. I don't know if we're going to see that, though.
Putting 3 targeted damage on the board on turn 3, though, isn't a bad play. Of course, it will depend on what Kisstafer plays.
Looks like the players are getting lag on their end, so sorry, guys, that lag is not on our end. It happened during the game, so...
Yes. We want to buy an actual Observer UI and some in-game replays. That would be so nice.
Now, here's an interesting thing. He can use the Pyromancer, then he can Claw, which will actually do 1 damage, and then he can hit the Harvest Golem, which will leave just the damaged Golem on board. It's not the Dream Pyromancer versus Harvest Golem play where you actually craft the Harvest Golem and then it kills the damaged Golem, but it does get rid of the first iteration of Harvest Golem.
And since the Divine Shield was already off of the Argent Squire, it went to Card Heaven as well.
Yeah, it also kills the... Yeah, so that's fine. Looks like he's just going to Dagger Up. He's not going to use the Deadly Poison here. He's just going to go ahead and kill that Wild Pyro for free, keeping his 2-1 on the board.
The health pools are now tied up with apDrop having a 2-1 still there.
Now, he could draw a card here with Wrath, and I actually think I would in this situation because of my hand not being the strongest it can be. But he's going to go ahead and decide instead to just kill it for free, use no cards on that turn.
I think he's going to possibly double Novice Engineer
I
here.
hope you like my invention.
He may or he may just attack. Okay, so he's going to double Novice Engineer.
You like my
The other option there was to attack with the dagger and then re-dagger up, preparing yourself for the ability to deadly poison on the next turn. Okay, so Kisstafer popping out his own Novice Engineer. And this was at a time when Novice on Novice violence didn't kill either one. So
Exactly. There weren't those awesome fights where everyone just gets the knockout simultaneously.
So interesting here is that because he didn't do the play I was talking about where he re-daggered, now has to put a deadly poison for only one charge.
Yeah, which is not the dream scenario.
No, that's anti-value deadly poison right there. Oh, and the swipe comes out. Let's see. Can he find a way to make this swipe work to kill everything? No, he cannot.
Nope.
Well, no, he can swipe. No, he can't. He can't kill everything with a swipe here. So I think we'll probably maybe see an Argus or just a Sylvanas. Sylvanas would be a fine play. There's 3 minions on the board. It kind of forces apDrop to just run everything into that Sylvanas. Or deal with it in another fashion.
Or do the famous ignore it entirely.
That is the other
Just
option with
play
Sylvanas,
around
yes.
Sylvanas.
Yeah. And you kind of have to assess your situation. Like, if I run all 3 of my creatures into Sylvanas, what does that... Like, what situation am I left with at the end of that? Am I out of cards and out of options? Or, you know... So, okay, so he's actually going to go ahead and draw. I think you might be hoping to get into some sort of better swipe situation here.
Well, there you go. I mean, you can't do it this turn.
Yeah.
And he's not going to bother.
If you're
But he can clear 2 minions this turn and leave only a 2/2 Novice on the board, which is fine.
Right. It's definitely worse situations you could be in. So looking like
Now,
apDrop's going to drop that Azure Drake, see what he gets. Gets his second Argent Commander. Got a lot of gold cards in his rogue deck. You can tell it's kind of his baby.
yeah, he's got the golden Sylvanas and 2 golden Argent Commanders. Beautiful. Oh, and a golden Dark Iron.
Dark
Wow.
Iron's in there.
Alright, so now I think we will see the Sylvanas because now it just makes a lot of sense. He's got, 2 cards that are tough to
Ooh,
deal with
Baron Geddon.
without another swipe here.
Thinking about the Baron Geddon.
Wow, the Baron Geddon would actually be interesting because it would kill the 2/2 and knock the Azure Drake down to a 4/2. And do some damage to the opponent as well while doing damage to you. But, okay, so he does decide on the Geddon. It's an interesting play because with the spell power still on board, an Eviscerate would just deal with this
But he doesn't
very
have
easily.
it.
That he does not have, you're right.
He could Dark Iron the Azure Drake and just kill off Baron Geddon.
I think that's what we're going to see. The other option here is Sylvanas, but Sylvanas isn't going to steal anything.
Or
So
Argent Commander and attack with both, leaving a 4/2 on the board. But no, the Dark Iron I think would be the better play because you're left with a 4/4.
exactly, you're left with a 4/4 instead of 4/2. And not only that, but you can dagger up in the same turn. You got Deadly Poison available next turn, so I think I'd do that and maybe just not attack with the dagger. He's considering his options, though, here, and this is what a good player will do, especially in a tough situation like this, where there's several viable options. You need to kind of slow down, really figure out what is going to leave you in a better situation at the end of this turn.
This is where you would see me, if you were watching me actually play, start drawing things in the air as I do math in my head.
That's the Trump move. You see Trump do that a lot.
I've
There's a
noticed
little-
that. Yeah, he does that on ESPN's Fight Nights. I've seen him do
Yeah.
that. And at first I thought it was funny. I'm like, oh wait, no, I do that too. I probably shouldn't judge him for that.
So looks like Garrett, he's going with your play, which I think is the correct play.
I think it is.
And he's actually going to pull out the SI7. So instead of daggering up and preparing for the Deadly Poison, he's going to go for board presence here.
Which isn't, honestly, against Druid, not a terrible move, since once Druid gets up to this type of a mana count, usually just big targets are coming out, so the 2 damage
Yeah.
might not actually help you that much.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so now we got a little bit of a situation here because here comes Sylvanas. Honestly, I think his only real viable option is to run both creatures into Sylvanas. He can also play his own Sylvanas. However, Sylvanas is a fickle lady, and Blizzard has come out and said that they realize that Sylvanas is bugged. Okay, so I think he's going to do this and then just dagger up. There you go. So he's going
Sylvanas
to face tank Sylvanas.
How is Sylvanas bugged?
So Sylvanas is supposed to, according to Blizzard, Sylvanas is supposed to work in this fashion. The first Sylvanas played is the first Sylvanas Death Rattle that goes off. However, that is not actually how it works in the current situation. It actually works in kind of a random fashion, right?
Okay.
People have been doing tests on Sylvanas trying to figure out exactly how it works, and it's been proven to be almost completely random.
Yeah, this is a tough call here. Do you take 3 damage to get rid of the...
Yeah, I think you do, because you already went ahead and hit your hero power, so if you don't then use it to get rid of this shield, it's kind of weird. But this is exactly what I was thinking he's going to do. I'm surprised he goes for the healing, though.
Can't decide.
Yeah, he's a little bit unsure whether to go for the healing of the 2 cards. Now, if he goes for the healing, it's because he's worried about something like Leroy Coldblood, which is viable to worry about, because if he's played apDrop before, or he knows played like this type of rogue deck before, he knows Leroy Coldblood is out there.
Absolutely. Well, he just lost to Leroy last game. He might as well assume that there's at least 1 Coldblood thrown in there as for good measure, which is exactly what apDrop had.
Well, there's also Leroy Eviscerate too, which is basically the same for 1 extra mana. So
yes.
Being at 15 life with 4 damage on board and a dagger equipped is not a great place to be. So. Okay, looks like he's just going to go straight through to the face, trying to set himself up potentially to have that, because now that he's drawn the Coldblood.
Oh, and then he's going to eat the Divine Shield off of his own Argent Commander to bring his Blood Knight to 6/6.
Very strong play there. I think we might see a Blood Mage and a Swipe here, though, because that's actually going
Take
to...
care of both commanders.
Yeah, it'll kill both commanders, and he'll be able to wrath off the remaining health of the Blood Knight as well.
Oh, yeah, he'll even get to do the draw card out of that.
Yep. So full board clear, leaving him with a 5/5 and a 1/1 with spell power.
And a draw card if the 1/1 dies. Oh, wait, is he gonna... I would go for the Wrath, I think.
He's gonna go and face tank some more damage? My video froze up again, so...
Oh, no. He decided to go for the Wrath.
Okay.
To take care of the Blood Knight, doing 5 damage.
He has plenty of mana, so you might as well do that.
Alright, so we're at 11 health, 1 armor for Kisstafer, and...
That is game, I think, right?
Wait,
he's got the deadly poison, so he actually does have it. So Leroy Coldblood, dagger up, deadly poison.
Oh, or just Dark Iron Dwarf.
Or buff it with a Dark Iron Dwarf. Yeah, he had plenty of ways to do
multiple ways to get lethal on that turn. So that rogue deck is just, you can absolutely tell why that is his favorite. That rogue deck of apDrop is definitely it's earning its keep.
It's doing work right now, and it's, like we said at the end of that game, he had several ways to finish him off. And Kisstafer made some great plays there to clear the board. He definitely thought things out. He healed himself with the Ancient of Lore there, which was the correct play, knowing that apDrop did have the Leroy and the Coldblood and Eviscerates and things like that to finish him off. So he did make the correct plays. However, sometimes the correct play is just not enough. It's just the power of that rogue deck. It's a very, very strong deck. And while I personally have not found much success with it, I don't know why. Maybe I'm just not playing it very well. apDrop seems to have mastered it, and he's playing it very well. So he's kind of reversed the tide here.
Yeah. I just need to get myself a Leroy Jenkins, and hopefully my rogue deck will become a little more competitive.
Yeah, you really need a Leroy in that rogue deck, because basically you manage the board, get the health low, and then finish him off. And that's exactly how he plays it. And he's playing it correctly, and you can see the results here. It's a lot of people talked about, because Rogue was the overpowered class. When this game first hit, Rogue
was broken.
Insanely overpowered. Yeah, you could kind of play any kind of Rogue deck and you would just destroy people because, Backstab hit anything. Shiv was 1 mana. I mean, that was an insane card back then.
Absolutely.
There's just tons and tons of cards that Rogue had that were just so insanely powerful. Turn 1 Scrub, the coin Scrub, was ridiculous.
The Defiant Ringleader. Dills likes to refer to all cards by what they say when they come out.
Yes, exactly. It's not a Shield Master, it's a Taz Dingo.
Absolutely.
So anyway, that was an insanely powerful deck. Then it got nerfed, and a lot of people started to move away from Rogue, thinking, oh, now it's the nerfy class, only because it was underpowered compared to where it was. However, as time went on, people started to realize, no, Rogue is still very good, and you've seen it kind of have a resurgence, especially in tournament play.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy the class as a whole. I think the combo mechanic is very fun. It gives me a lot to think about. And I don't mind the lack of board clears.
No, it doesn't hurt you very often because of the fact that you have lots of cheap removal, so you can remove each creature one at a time.
Right.
And like you said, the combo mechanic and all that, there's definitely a high level of skill in the, like there's a lot of thought process in how do I play these cards and in what order to clear this board. So it's a thinking man's deck, and if you like to think while you play Hearthstone, it's a good choice.
Which I do.